While Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't a good movie, Gal Gadot is a gorgeous woman who has a talent for acting, and lately she's been pushing back against Hollywood's misogyny narratives, and now she's come out and said while she's flattered so many people want her to play a female 007, she doesn't think that's a good idea because creatives should just make new original female characters instead of taking the spotlight off of James Bond. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted, and of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So this is a Screen Rant article. It says Gal Gadot has endearing response to female 007 fan casting. There's more space for female-led movies in the genre. Now, I am all for seeing strong female lead characters in movies, TV shows, entertainment in general. I have absolutely no problem with that. But the issue that I have had over the past few years is what Hollywood and a lot of creatives are doing to these characters. They all fit into this cookie cutter mold of strong, independent, angry at the world, doesn't want help from anyone, especially men type that I'm just sick and tired of seeing. If we occasionally had a character like that, it would be okay, but almost every single female character now acts this way, and I don't want to see that. I know a lot of you don't want to see that, but as she tries out the spy genre with her Netflix thriller Heart of Stone, Gal has addressed the fan casting for her to be the first female James Bond. Of course, right now, we do not know what direction they're going to go in, which is why a lot of people have speculated they are going to bring a female into this role, because that is just a classic Hollywood move, even if a lot of people would not like it. It says a variety of names have been discussed as the next Bond, ranging from Henry Cavill to Harris Dickinson, and of course, again, the rumor that there might be a female. In honor of Heart of Stone's release and prior to the SAG-AFTRA strike, Gal sat down with GQ for their latest video of celebrities responding to fan questions on social media. When looking at the comments of the YouTube post of the Netflix thriller's trailer, the star responded to a fan casting her as a female James Bond, expressing her gratitude for the consideration and love for the genre, but indicating a desire to help create more original female-led stories. Now, this is a fantastic thing. I talk about this all the time. Stop taking, originally male roles and characters and just gender swapping them. Don't do that, okay, Hollywood? You've just got to stop with that because most of the time people do not like it. I'm all for seeing female characters that are strong leads, but if you let these creatives have their way, female characters will just dominate the industry, which is dumb. There are plenty of female-led franchises, and they pretend like there isn't just so they can push more male lead franchises out of the spotlight, and even normal moviegoers are catching on to this now. I do have to say with Heart of Stone, things have not been the best when it comes to the movie because a lot of people just think it's an average action film. I personally wish that there had been better male characters to balance out the females. I wish that the pacing of the story itself was a little bit better. As you can see, it's not sitting at the best scores on Rotten Tomatoes, a 36 critic and a 62% audience, but I have to give her props. I have to give her credit. It was an effort to make a new franchise and a character, and even if it does not get like a sequel or spin-offs, I still think that it was a fair effort, and I definitely do agree with the 62%, but there are still attempts that have been made, not just by Gal and Netflix, but by other companies. I mean, look at Salt with Angelina Jolie. They were really hoping that that was going to pick up and it was going to become a major franchise. And while it didn't, people did still enjoy that movie, and I definitely did. But she went on to say, "That's very nice of you to say thank you. I'm such a big fan of the genre. I grew up watching Bond and Mission and Die Hard and Bourne Identity. The little girl in me always wanted to play one, and I think after the success of Wonder Woman, it was when I realized, wait a second, there's an audience for this where it's female-led. There's more space for female-led movies in the genre, and that's kind of what gave Yaron and I, who my husband and my partner the boost to go ahead and develop one ourselves. The action, the twists and turns, the scope, the drama. I love everything about these movies, and I'm so happy that we can share Heart of Stone with you. So she is basically saying, while I'm flattered that you would want me to play this character, I think that we should just go ahead and create new original female characters, which is just so great because unfortunately, the mentality in Hollywood is just take male characters and replace them. But I do have to say, while I'm giving her props for the statement, she is not so unique in this mindset because there have been so many female-led spy thrillers over the years. Like I mentioned, we have Salt with Angelina Jolie. We have Nikita, which is a fan favorite. Point of No Return, Red Sparrow. I mean, I could sit here for a while and list female-led spy and just kind of action movies in general. But again, at the same time, it would be nice to see more coming out that had that effort put into them. Because like with Heart of Stone, I think that an effort was made, but I just feel like they needed more experienced writers on the project. I think the writing was lacking a little bit. Again, I feel like they really didn't have any strong men in the movie, and of course it was female-centric. But this is not the first time that she has, made a similar sentiment. Gal Gadot rebukes Hollywood's misogyny narrative, saying moviegoers do want to see movies with women if the story is good. She only said this a couple of months ago, and I think that this is a great statement to make because yes, people do want to see content with females. People love seeing female-led content. The issue is the content that creatives in Hollywood are making and are putting out where women are 1,000 times stronger than the men and the men are just puny little twerps. Nobody likes them. They're annoying. They're trying to bring the women down. People don't want to see that. If you have a strong, empowered woman that is way too overbearing and, there's explosions in the background and she can one-punch anyone, that's not what people want to see. We want to see fleshed out good characters. And while we don't see a lot of female actresses speak out about this because they're probably ultimately afraid that they will lose their, spotlight, Ana de Armas, who of course was in the more recent Bond movies, she was in No Time to Die, she actually had pushed back against the idea of it gender swapping James Bond. She had said straight up there shouldn't be any need to steal someone else's character. And this is a great statement. I'm all for new original characters. Just stop stealing already existing ones. There's no need for a female Bond, she said. There shouldn't be any need to steal someone else's character to, take over. This is a novel and it leads into this James Bond world, and this is this fantasy of a universe where he's at. What I would like is if the female roles in the Bond films, even though Bond will continue to be a man, are brought to life in a different way, that they're given a more substantial part and recognition. That's what I think is more interesting than flipping things, and I think a lot of people would, generally agree with this. And of course, she is not really worried about her future in the industry because she is going to be in the John Wick spin-off Ballerina in 2024, I believe is the release date at this point. But yeah, we have seen a few actresses now, share these thoughts, basically fight back against the misogyny narrative in Hollywood, and Gal Gadot has now come out yet again saying while she loves her fans and is so humbled by the fact that people have been fan casting her as a female 007, she just thinks that we should create more female-led original movies, which I completely agree with. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.